online, things like that. So we can type in work from home and we can type in make money online. And yeah, it does take down the impressions from 175 million to 8.68 million, but this is 8.68 million people that are targeted to what it is that you're going to offer. So you're going to get a lot more clicks. So you don't have to put in keywords if you don't want, but if you just want to see targeted clicks coming through, you're going to have a much higher return on your investment. And I'm going to explain why you want targeted clicks in just a minute. So we're going to put in those two keywords for now, and you don't need to put a lot in. The more keywords you put in, yeah, the more targeted it's going to get, but you can just put in two things like this and it'll be just fine. Next, preferred sites, you can say show on preferred sites or show on all sites. I always click on show on all sites. You can see now it jumped up to 36 million impressions. Yeah, it's showing on all sites, but it's still going to be based off your keywords. So you're fine as long as you have your keywords in there. For gender, this is again if you wanted to target very specific to even like if you chose parenting and family for the category, you could choose female gender and then you could specifically create ads that target towards moms, like are you a stay-at-home mom, ? Things like that. So you can play around with it, but let's just go ahead and hit both for now and then target all ages. We're going to just leave it standard target all ages. Next is set budget. This is what's really cool because with AdBright, when you get to the set budget screen, based on the choices that you just made on targeting, it's going to put in what it suggests your max CPC bid is. Now this is great because it tells you if you spend a quarter, you're going to get a lot of traffic. All right. Now this is, I found in my testing, this is going to be the median basically that they recommend. If you put in a larger CPC bid from this screen, then you're going to get the cream of the crop. You're going to be at the top of all of the results all the time. So if you haven't watched my previous skill set training videos on Google AdWords, I have a very specific bidding strategy that I like to do. If you notice, it gives you the default CPC bid. Well, this default CPC bid is what other people are getting as well. So the very first thing that I do is increase it by 2 pennies. The reason why I increase it by 2 pennies is because if it gives you the max CPC bid of this, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's cool, next. But the people that think they're smart, they're going to be like, oh, this is all about bidding, so I'm going to bid a penny above, and I'm going to get better results. And then they click next. Well, you got to be smarter than that, and you put 2 pennies above, which is 27 cents, and then you're going to be on top of everybody. So that is the bidding strategy. Now, as far as if you should just put 2 pennies above and that's it, if you go back to this checklist, if you remember this third item was to establish your profit margin to determine your CPC. So before we even put in what we want our max CPC is, and CPC stands for cost per click. That's how much you're paying when someone clicks on your ad. So you want to go back to ClickBank, and when you go back to ClickBank, you look at the total sale. So the total sale is $96.50. Now, to establish your profit margin, you have to know what is this site usually converting on. Well, I can tell you right now, being the founder of Maverick Moneymakers, with targeted traffic, which means if you have targeted ads in AdBright, which you should if you're following along, and you're not just going for all sites on all networks, you are going to convert around 3%. Now, sometimes it can be like 2.78, sometimes it can be 3.14, but you're converting around 3% for every 100 visitors that are coming to the site through targeted traffic. Okay? So let's just go ahead and do the math here. If you and I always, even though I think I know what basic math is, I still do it on calculator because I like to see it. So if you do like 100 times 3%, that's going to be 3 buyers that you're going to get. Well, you see how the total sale being $96.50, if you take 3 times $96.50, you're going to make $208 in the long run with Maverick Moneymakers. Now, yeah, with making $36.58 up front, that's how much you're going to make up front, but total sales, what you're looking at. So You know when 100 people come to Maverick Moneymakers from your advertising on AdBright, you're going to get at least 3 sales if it's targeted, and then that's going to give you $208. So if we go back to AdBright, and if you think about it, okay, the max CPC they're telling you it was 25, we raised it to 27, and so if we go back and just remember $208. So let's say 100 clicks at 27 cents, that's going to only cost you $27. So if you take 208, which is going to be your total, the total gross income you're going to make, minus 27, you're going to profit $181. So that is the basic, profit margin that you're looking at. Well, if you want a lot of traffic, and I'm talking about, when I mean a lot of traffic, just all you have to do is increase your CPC bid by a dime. Sorry, that would be 30. Excuse me if my voice is getting a little scratchy. I'm starting to come down with a cold. Okay. So the max CPC bid, we raised it by a dime. So with being a dime, that's now going to cost you $37. So still, if you take 208 minus 37, you're still going to profit $171, which is great. I mean, you're never going to be in the black. You're never going to be in the red. You're always going to be in the black. You're always going to be making money. So that is the max CPC. Now, daily budget, you can leave it at 100 and be fine.'re going to get plenty of traffic at $100. But I just want you to know, when you start making money, you can increase this budget as high as you want to go, because you're always going to be making profit, because you know just the raw numbers from right here on how much you're going to make total sale. And this isn't numbers that are made up. I mean, this is numbers that ClickBank has scientifically put together, so you know how much money you're going to make total before you start spending money. Okay? So if we go back to AdBright, and if you just want to have some fun here, and let's say if you put in a daily budget of $1,000, and this might sound like a lot of money to some of you, but always remember, you're never going to lose money. So if you put in $1,000, and remember, if you're going to, with Maverick Moneymakers, you get 3% is what the average conversion is on targeted traffic. So you take 1,000 times 3%, that's 30 people that are going to sign up. So you take 30 people times the $96 total sale, that's $2,800 that you're going to make. So $2,800, and this is a day, all right? So $2,800, and you're going to spend 37 cents times 1,000, that's going to be $370. So you take 2,880 minus 370, and you're going to profit $2,500 in a day. I mean, that is just the raw math, and this is real proof on how much money you can make, and you're planning all this out before you actually dive right in. So yeah, this video is a little long. It's coming up on 30 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that you understand to plan everything out before you jump in and start spending money. And if you don't want to if you're one of those people that just, even though this money looks good, you can't possibly think to put in a daily budget of $1,000, then start out with $10 or start out with $100. And then once you start seeing the money come in, it's all going to make sense to you, and then you can put in your daily budget of as much as you want to go. So that is actually setting your budget. Step 3 is actually running your campaign and making money. And it can take sometimes up to 48 hours before there's activity once you run your campaign. The reason for that is it really depends on just how many people are using AdBright at the moment. But you just have to understand, knowing that it's going to take that long, you can constantly add more campaigns and more ad variations as you go along. And I'm going to show you how to set up your ad variations right now. So once you set your budget, next is going to be entering in your ads. So we're going to hit next, and then you just wait a minute. And now it's going to get to your text ad. Now you remember, we chose the text ad earlier, and I told you that there's a significant advantage to doing that. Now let me show you why and how there's a significant advantage. Knowing that we're going to promote a product about making money online,